It's a Yang style section of a Yang style form. So you'll find it in the 8-step, the 10-step, you'll find it in the 16, I believe, and the 24-step. And you certainly find it in short Yang and long Yang. Okay, so this particular series of movements is quite a useful thing to practice again and again and again, because it repeats many times. Okay, and it also gives you the opportunity to start doing Tai Chi much faster than having to learn the entirety of say the short Yang form, which takes quite a bit of time. It gets you into your practice quicker, and it's also easier for if you want to come along and just play at Tai Chi and just have a little bit of a work with it to get you a sense of where you're going. So just let yourself just settle. Feet, ankle, knees, hips, tailbone tucks under, shoulders come back so they rest comfortably over the hips. Chin pull back slightly to create the stretch in the spine, and then just let everything sink down, the bones float in space, releasing all the muscles off in the back. Releasing the shoulders, down through the forearms, down through the upper arms, opening the elbows, into the forearms, softening the wrists, and releasing the hands. Okay, so this is our Wu Chi posture. Wu Chi is like the opening posture, the starting posture. So you find your state of Wu Chi, you're looking for a state of stillness where everything lines up so the body can stand comfortably without twisting, turning, no resistance. Everything is just totally neutral, ready to move but not moving. Still point. And then remember to breathe. So you're breathing deeply into the belly. Length of the breath is dictated by you and what you're comfortable with. Try and get it to be regular and smooth. I'm going to start with rise and fall. So the opening posture of the form, palms to the floor, bring the hands forward. Slight strain on the fingertips. You drop the fingertips and the arms raised to shoulder height. And then you drop your elbows, you drop your wrists, and you bring your hands down as though you're pushing through water. So we'll have a bit of a play with that. Allow yourself to come to rest, settling down through the feet, and then palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height, then drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Again, just come to rest. Give the arms a shake if you need to, shake the legs if you need to, create your alignments, and then palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height, dropping the elbows, dropping the wrists, down as though you're pushing through water. Again, as the hands are coming forward, there is a tendency to lean onto the toes and come forward. You don't want to do that. So you're keeping yourself flat on the floor, the palms to the floor and forward. The hands come up, you're not leaning forward. You're also not pulling the arms back. So the shoulder blades stay at a neutral place across the rib cage. They're not coming forward and they're not being pushed together. Okay. And release one more time. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Then dropping the elbows, dropping the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. From there, I'm going to go to my left, but you mirror me and you go to the right. So I'll talk it through to the right. Turn your fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with your fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. When your right hand is in front of your face, you're going to sink into the hips, bending the thighs, and drop the left hand down to waist height. Okay, just come up and release. So feet shoulder width apart, knees off, lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. And drop the elbows, drop the wrists, down as though you're pushing through water. Take your fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. When the right hand is in front of the face, you sink down, drop your left hand to waist height. And relax, release, shake the arms, shake the legs. Loosen off the spine so that everything's nice and released. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Then drop your elbows, drop your wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. When your right hand is in front of your face, you sink down and drop left hand to waist height. One last time. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Dropping the elbows, dropping the wrists down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, you're circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. The right hand in front of the face, sink down, drop the left hand down to waist height. And relax. So all the time we've got our feet shoulder width apart. We're creating our alignments up through the legs. So feet, ankles, knees, hips, tailbone. Just allow the tailbone to drop under by sinking into the hips and let the tailbone just drop under. You're not rotating your pelvis forward. Okay, so from there, hips, tailbone tucks under. That opens up the lower back. The shoulders, we say, come back over the hips so that you don't end up sort of crushing yourself down like that or leaning yourself forward. So the shoulders come back, sit comfortably over the hips, so the spine elongates. And then the chin comes back and it creates the kind of feeling that you're suspended from the ceiling. That's what you're looking for. Releasing all the muscles off down the body and into the ground so that your weight is evenly spaced on both feet. You're not leaning forward or back. You're not going from one side to the other. Everything's central. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Your weight transfers down onto the left leg. So you're going through the hip, into the knee, down through the ankle and out through the toe. Keeping the knees fairly straight so it's not kinking or dropping in. You're not turning or twisting in any way. You're just sitting down through the leg as though you have a wall here and you sort of like hit that wall and just go sink down on one side. And then you drop your right hip in, keeping the left hip where it is. That allows the waist to turn and you pick up the right toes so that you end up with cooperation coming down through the hip, the knee and the foot, the ankle. So from here, I'm sinking down and then cooperating through, dropping the hip in. At the same time, my right toes turn up, pivoting on the heel. Then I roll my weight forward onto the right leg. My right toe is now 45 degrees to the corner and I'm sitting down through my right leg. And then I drop my left hip in. So that allows me to turn my waist towards the end wall and my back foot comes up. I've got all my weight now on my right leg so I can step straight forward on my heel of the left leg. And then I'm going to roll my weight forward onto the left leg and then pivot the hips in so I end up facing straight and the hips are square to the front wall. And relax. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off block, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Dropping the elbows, dropping the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Way onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward, square the hips. And relax. Now that time I left my hands roughly where they were. Now the purpose of that is a demonstration of how the arms, how the body can move, but the shoulders and the elbows stay, they hold a fixed point in space in relation to the body. It's actually the turning of the waist that moves the arms round. So the hands and the arms are doing very little. The shoulders and the elbows are doing very little. So if I'm feet shoulder width apart, knees off, lock, gap under the armpits, palms to the floor and forward, drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height, drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. So leaving the hands exactly where they are. We will move them in a moment and we'll add that movement in. But for now, just leave them where they are. Be aware of where your shoulders are in space and where your elbows are in space and where the hands are in space. So I'm transferring my weight onto the left leg, turning my right toe to the corner, which allows the waist to turn. That brings the hands round. Then I transfer my weight back onto the right leg, again, turning the waist and the arms. They're not doing anything at the moment. I'm picking up my left foot, I'm stepping forward on the heel, rolling my weight forward. And then as I square the hips, the elbows, the shoulders and the hands come back round to the front wall. But I haven't actually moved them. It's the function of turning of the waist and the stepping that's actually transformed their position in space. I suppose that's the way of looking at it. Stand upright. Let's have a play with what the arms are doing now. So I have my feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Dropping the fingertips, raising the arms to shoulder height. Dropping the elbows, dropping the wrists and down as though I push through water. Fingertips turn to the right. I'm circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. When the right hand is in front of the face, I'm sinking down, my left hand drops to waist height. So what I'm doing is I'm turning my waist. That brings the hands round to my right hand side. And then as I square my hips again, back to the front wall, I'm leaving my elbows and shoulders exactly where they are. Okay, so my hips are turned over my right leg, over to the right hand side. And then as I square the hips, my right fingertips cross across the left wrist, and I square my hips, and that brings the hands round, walled off. So actually from here, I'm doing very little. I'm just literally swapping the hands over. So my fingertips cross across the left wrist, right fingertips cross across left wrist, not touching, not brushing, just crossing. And then they end up with your left hand is higher up and further out than the elbow, and the right palm is down by the waist. And then all I'm doing there is just squaring my hips, and that brings the hands around. And relax, let's have another go at that. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward, leading up with your fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Drop the fingertips, and drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turning the waist to the end wall. So this time I'm picking up my left foot, stepping forward on the heel. I'm rolling my weight forward. Then I'm swapping my hands as I square my hips to the front wall, which brings the hands around, walled off. And I should end up with my left toe, knee, elbow in line. Left wrist is higher up and further out than the left elbow. Right palm is down by the waist. And I'm sinking down, tucking the tailbone under, keeping my chin upright, and then let all the muscles relax down. And again, feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height, and drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn the waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward, ward off. And again, feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap in the armpits, give yourself a shake. And the hips to sort of release, let the legs release, release the shoulders, and then find your alignments. Feet, ankles, knees, hips, tuck the tailbone under, shoulders come back, chin pulled back slightly, release the muscles so the bones can open space. And then palms the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as they are pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, you're circling up, leading with your fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall, picking up the left foot, stepping forward on the heel, roll the weight forward. And then the right fingertips cross across left wrist, square your hips to the front, or ward off. Now one more time, release. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists, down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with your fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Way onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner, back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, you step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward and ward off. So from there, just forget about the hands for a minute. We're going to sink into our left hip so that all our weight is now on our left leg. Then using this as a still point, we rotate the waist to the corner. So we're rotating in and our right hip is dropping in. Okay, so weight down through our left leg, still point here, rotate in. And at the same time, we need that cooperation through our leg. So although we can do that, we can twist or we can turn, it's still not quite conducive to what I really want to be doing with my legs. So I need my hip, my knee and my ankle to cooperate. And what I'm going to do is with my weight going down through my left leg, as I drop the hip in, I'm going to pivot so that the heel on my right leg comes up and the toe just balances me. That means that I make sure that I have my weight on my left leg, because I want to be able to pick up my right heel and place it on the floor in front of me. So you place the heel down roughly where the toe was. So from here, weight goes down through into the left leg, and we pivot in, picking up the heel. So we're dropping in, hips turn to the corner, toe is resting on the floor, and then I pick up the heel and place it roughly where the toe was, rolling my weight forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to square my hips. But as I do, again, we've got this little intricacies going in with the leg, in that as I turn, if I leave my toe out, then I can't get cooperation with my knee, my ankle and my hip. So what I have to do is, again, this is acting as a hinge, and it's going down through into the heel. So as I square my hip, you see the toe turns in. So the toe turns in, that then allows release up through the leg, allows the knee to come in line and allows the hips to square. So we have this cooperation. It's not all moving at once like so. It's kind of like the heel, the toe turns in on the heel, the knee can then drop into place, which then allows the hip to rotate through and end up facing straight at the end wall. One more time. So from our ward off posture without the hands, weight going down through the left leg, I drop in my right heel and I pivot on the right toe. Then the heel goes down roughly where the toe was, and I roll my weight forward onto the right leg so I can sit down through my right hip, keeping the tailbone tucked under. And then we get the cooperation through the leg by turning in the toe, letting the knee come in and letting the hips square. One more time so that you've got that. So left leg forward, right leg back, right toe 45 degrees to the corner, sitting down into the left leg, dropping in your right hip and allowing the right heel to pick up. Place the heel down roughly where the toe is, rolling the weight forward. And then cooperation through the leg, the toe turns, which allows the knee to settle in, which allows the hips to turn and square comfortably. And relax. So our hand position, we have our ward off. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our left palm away. And at the same time, the right hand comes up the center line and turns left palm to face. And I end up in a posture known as looking mirror. So my right palm is facing me as though I have a mirror in the palm of the hand. You can have it up by the face if you want, or a bit lower down. It's entirely up to you. And then turn the left palm away so the middle finger of the left hand ends pointing at the right wrist. So from the ward off posture, all we're doing is bringing the right hand up the center line, turning left palm away to looking mirror. So we're in our ward off posture. Turn the waist to the right. And then as you come back square again, see how the shoulders and the elbows stay where they are. All I'm doing is as I square, my left palm turns over and the right hand comes up center line. So from here, turn, square, and we end up in looking mirror, which is actually ward off on the other side. So we turn, right hand comes up center line, turn left palm away, looking mirror. Relax the arms, ward off. So turning the waist. Then as you square the waist, right hand comes up center line, turn left palm away, looking mirror. One more time, ward off. Turning the palms, turn the waist. Then the right hand comes up center line, turn left palm away, looking mirror. And relax. So give your body a shake. So we're going to try that now. Let's go from ward off. So sinking into our left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Then turning in from the toe, the knee, the hips square as the right hand comes up the center line, turn left palm away, looking mirror. So the posture looks like that. Elbows in line, middle finger pointing at the edge of the wrist, right palm facing, left palm facing away. Ward off. So weight onto the left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward. See how the weight forward makes my hips again turn to the corner. And then to rectify that, correct that so that my hips are facing the end wall, I'm turning the heel, turning the knee, turning the hip as the right hand comes up the center line, turn left palm away. And one more time. Ward off. Weight onto the left leg, pick up the right heel, heel down where the toe was, weight forward, turning the back toe, right hand comes up center line, turn left palm away, looking mirror. So feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of your face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner, back onto the right leg, turn waist to the in wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward, ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel, heel down where the toe was, weight forward, turning the back toe, right hand comes up center line, turn left, palm away, and look in mirror. Relax, and again. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as they are pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. With your right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn the waist to the end wall. Picking up the left foot, stepping forward on the heel, roll the weight forward. Left hand comes up, right fingertips cross across left wrist. Square your hips to the front wall and ward off. So make sure you have your left toe, knee, elbow in line. Left wrist is higher up and further out than the left elbow. The right shoulder is released. Nice curve down through the right arm. And the palm is facing the floor down by the hip. Right toe should be pointing 45 degrees to the corner. Then sinking down into the left hip, pivot on the right toe, picking up the right heel. Right heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Then turning in your back toe, right hand comes up center line, turn left, palm away, look in mirror. Again, make sure you have your shoulder width with the right toe, knee, elbow in line. And relax. And again, this time I'm going to turn round. So this time I'm actually going to go to the right, and you can follow me as I go that way. This would be more like it would be in an actual physical class. So feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Dropping your elbows, dropping the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner, back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward and ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Turning the back toe as the right hand comes up, center line, turn left palm away, look in mirror. And again, feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Then drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner, back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward, ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel, heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Turn in the back toe, look in mirror. And again, feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Dropping the fingertips, raising the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips turn to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner, back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward and ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward, turn in the back toe and look in mirror. And again, feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. So just allow yourself just to sink down in through the feet, opening the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, tailbone tucks under, shoulders come back to sit comfortably over the hips. And pull your chin back slightly to create a stretch in the spine. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. Drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn waist to the end wall. Picking up the left foot, you step forward on your heel, roll the weight forward and ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Turn in the back toe, look in mirror. And one more time. Feet shoulder width apart, knees off lock, gap under the armpits. Palms to the floor and forward. Drop the fingertips, raise the arms to shoulder height. And drop the elbows, drop the wrists and down as though you're pushing through water. Fingertips to the right, circling up, leading with the fingertips, keeping the elbows in line. Right hand in front of the face, you sink down, drop left hand to waist height. Weight onto the left leg, turn right toe to corner. Back onto the right leg, turn waist to the in wall. Pick up the left foot, step forward on the heel, roll the weight forward and ward off. Weight on the left leg, pick up the right heel. Heel down where the toe was, weight forward. Turn in the back toe and look in mirror. And relax, kids. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. That was the first two postures of looping form 1A, or the beginning of short yang form. There are a number of other forms that begin that way as well. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that. That will give you a breakdown. If you've done this a lot before, hopefully you've got a bit more out of that and looking more at the mechanics and how you can sink into the movements and how you're supposed to be moving the arms around. If you've never done it before, hopefully that gives you an insight into the beginning of the form. Next week, I shall be going through the next set of the movements, which is roll back, press, back, and double push. Okay, we'll have a play with that next week. So looping form 1A, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next week.